Hey, what's up, fuck faces? This is Uncle Jiggles. Long time fan. Calling to let you guys know that you guys are doing the stand-up job. And to keep up the good shit. Don't listen to those fucking haters, Harrison.
You know, I don't want to be all judgmental, you know, but this is sick. It's sick and wrong.
Listening to Synchronon. Sick and Ron. Yes, you're listening to Synchronon.
The Sick and Wrong, the world source for antisocial commentary.
God, what a bunch of scumbags.
Good evening. Welcome to Sick and Wrong, the world source for antisocial commentary. One of your hosts, D. Simon.
I'm Harrison.
Harrison, haven't seen you since, when was this? On Wednesday, when you apparently ruined Lenore Claire's birthday party.
She says I didn't. I don't remember a lot of it, but I think I might have.
That's one of the most gratifying texts you can receive the next day from a friend is, did I do something to ruin the party last night? I don't remember any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you got to be like, and then at least for me, who's, you know, I'm a bit of a fabulist, I'd say. I was thinking of all the different scenarios I could make up.
Right.
That, because you don't remember anything. I was going to be like, oh, dude, yeah, you don't remember pulling your dick out and trying to put your balls on that chick's enchilada? I was going to say something like that, and then I was thinking, you know, that's just kind of cruel.
I remember bits and bobs of what happened, you know?
I'll show you a tamale. We were at a Mexican restaurant. That's what I was saying. Harrison was putting his penis on various Mexican entrees.
That would not be wise.
No, that would have ruined the party.
Yeah, I mean, those smoking fajita plates. It's dangerous.
Yeah, it would have been painful as well. That could have definitely have hurt your genitals. What I'm referring to is that mental patient that you brought with you. I don't know if is this your new girlfriend or what, but who is this girl?
She might be my new girlfriend. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Wow.
You know, see how things go.
So let me describe her to people. So I felt she kind of looked a bit like Gilda Radner, but then crossed with Edie from Grey Gardens.
Right.
Remember, did you ever see Grey Gardens?
No, but I know enough about it, you know.
That insane reclusive daughter in Grey Gardens that, but it was just like she had no like social decorum and just like no self-censorship, just said whatever she wanted to say and would just interrupt anybody willy-nilly. I kind of felt this girl was the same way. And not to mention, this girl not only assaulted me several times.
Did she?
Yeah.
Okay.
She, you don't recall her like trying to rip open my shirt so she could see my tattoo?
Oh, that I remember.
Yeah,
I remember Deathy doing that. Yeah.
But then afterwards, she kept punching people. I was one of the three that she punched a few times.
No, she'll do that. Yeah.
Yeah, she did that. But the funniest is when she would just grab an attractive girl, though. And just wouldn't let go of them. Like she was with my girlfriend. She was like grabbing her and just holding on to her.
Was she? I didn't.
Yeah, you didn't see that? And then there's another girl.
I think she said I fingered her holes or something.
Yeah, she tried to do that. Yeah,
Yeah.
she fingered her holes.
Yeah.
But without any provocation or warning. Like all of a sudden, she just kind of grabbed her and accosted her. Like if you tried to do that, you'd be arrested for assault. But did you notice that one girl that was like, I don't know, probably mid-30s or something, kind of attractive? She moved to another part of the table to get away from her.
I wasn't.
Or you didn't see that?
I wasn't. No, who moved? Somebody moved?
I don't know her name.
Okay.
She was just kind of an attractive, like, mid-30s. I think she's a photographer, actually. But she's one of Lenore's friends, and she moved to another side of the table to get away from the mental patient that you brought to the
She's
the
not.
birthday
First
party.
of all, Deathy is not a mental patient. Okay. All right. Let's just at the moment.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to say that.
Can I say
I don't
nutter?
actually know.
Nutter? Is that applicable? Nutter?
Yeah. You could, you could say,
Mentally unstable.
I don't know.
Whackball.
Whackball. That might be. Yeah. I don't know.
That's derogatory. I don't mean to get that. She seemed a bit mentally unstable, though, to me.
But I mean, who in this world
isn't?
Who isn't? Really?
Well,
I mean, it's
I
fair.
could see that.
I mean, at least she goes to regular therapy. I sure as shit don't. So.
But does
you
she
could
have?
say that.
Okay, so let me just set the scenario for people who weren't there.
Yeah.
Lenora Claire had an impromptu birthday party, and she
Right.
invited a few people to go eat at a group dinner at this Mexican restaurant. And so we all show up.
I don't think I'm getting invited to things anymore.
Well, we all show up, but there were like, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 people there. And so I got there a little late, so I was sitting at the end with my date, and then Harrison shows up with this girl who, I said before, looked a bit like Gilda Radner. From Saturday Night Live in the 70s.
She doesn't know who Gilda. I told her that she doesn't know who Gilda Radner is.
She kind of looked a bit like that. She kind of like black hair, but kind of it was sort of disheveled, and she had like those big round glasses. It looked like a character. I can't think of the name of the character that Gilda Radner used to portray. And then Edie from Grey Gardens, because the way she behaved, this very loud, rather obnoxious, erratic person that was saying. Basically interjecting in many different conversations all at the same time, and then also speaking in just like nonsensical non sequiturs, really. But anyway, she was an interesting person. I felt she kind of brought some liveliness to the party,
right?
But it made me wonder. But everybody was just kind of like, "Whoa, this girl's wacky." I think the people at the other end of the table didn't really notice her.
Did they not? Okay,
I'm not sure, because I think the one girl moved. And then the only other interaction that a lot of the people at the other side of the table had was when she was interrupting their selfies.
Which, to be fair, I feel like people should interrupt selfies,
I thought it was hilarious.
Apparently, it's a huge faux pas these days, but I don't know. I mean...
Apparently, when you're at a party in Hollywood and there's a lot of attractive women taking selfies or group selfies... you're not supposed to interrupt them. I think it's a faux pas. But I was in tears because she brought like she.
I mean, if it were up to me, we'd have a bonfire of the vanities. Friar Savonarola. We'd just fucking go that way again. But interrupting selfies. Anyway, continue, Dee.
Well, she had this bag with her that had a bunch of crap, and I have no idea what she had in her bag. Like,
she's kind of like a
homeless person.
No, she's like a human animaniac. I guess. You ever see the Animaniacs?
She is kind of like a human animaniac.
Yeah, she's like a human animaniac.
Yeah, I can kind of see that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she had this bag with just a lot of random shit in it. And so one of the things she had was a bunch of apples. And she gave an apple to the birthday girl. But anytime someone was taking a selfie, she was trying to shove the put the apple in the front of the camera. Right. So like the apple was in all the pictures because she felt like stylistically it should be there or something. And the I don't want to say resentment, but I would say there's definitely some disapproving faces.
I mean, I thought it was an interesting statement on mankind's fall from grace.
I think that's what she was going for.
Yeah.
No, she was great. Where did you meet this girl?
Okay, Cupid.
Marriage material here. Did you know she was a bit off kilter just from the first email, just reading her bio?
Oh yes. Yes.
That's what attracted you to her?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a bit of a feral creature these days myself. Though I admit I look very good on paper, but
as soon as they meet you person to person.
Yeah.
Where'd you meet this girl? Did you go out for coffee, drinks?
First time I met her, I went to her house.
You went to her house?
I went to her house, yes.
She owns a house?
No.
Oh.
Her parents own a house.
Okay, so she lives with her parents.
Yes.
How old is this person?
Mid to late 20s, let's say.
Wow, mid to late 20s and still lives with their parents. And she doesn't have Down syndrome,
Well,
right?
in this economy, it's not,
I guess it's not
have
unheard of.
Have you seen this economy?
It's not unheard of.
Yeah.
Did you, what's her room look like? I picture just like a lot of,
it looks kind
pictures of like, of supermodels with their eyes cut out.
No, it looks like the set from Sanford and Son.
Just filled with junk?
Yeah. Like weird taxidermy and just like crazy stuff everywhere,
Some ripple in the corner.
Yeah, it's a pool house, It's like a.
But she lives in her parents' pool house.
Yeah, it's like a Kato Kaling kind of situation.
I'm taking it she doesn't have a job.
I'm not exactly sure. I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
I think the highlight of the evening is when she pulled out this undetermined jar. I don't even know what it was. It was this strange jar filled with some kind of powder material. It was just in a jar. There's like a bunch of this crushed white powder. I figured it was meth, just judging by her behavior. And then she just kind of dumps like a spoonful into your margarita.
She did, yeah.
What was that?
It's a drug that the Soviets developed in the 60s to prevent their cosmonauts from developing space madness.
Space madness.
Space madness. Yeah.
This is what she told you.
Yes, and it checks out. Story checks out.
What's the drug
It's
called?
called Phenibut.
Phenibut.
Yeah,
Never heard of it.
I thought it was just kind of like it's some vitamins. It's legal, so I thought it was just some kind of vitamin store stuff. But apparently, it's serious because I took some before we went to the party. I took some. By the time I got there, I was like.
But you weren't, incoherent. I mean, you were making sense. You were still engaging in conversation. She was speaking just like nonsensical rants. Right. Interjecting into other people's conversations, and then completely saying something that made absolutely no sense, like something completely irrational.
Yeah.
You weren't doing that. I mean, you were engaging.
No, I wasn't. But by the time I left, I was. After she gave me that second bit of Phenibut,
it was a lot. Drink, I mean, it was like a tablespoon full of whatever that was.
Yeah, I didn't remember, and then I remember people were like, "Are you okay to drive home?" And I guess I was, because I somehow...
You were driving on it.
I don't remember driving, but somehow I was home.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did she go with you? Did you bring her back?
Yes.
Did you bust out the bag of tricks?
Yeah.
So just, what'd you think of the feather? I'm joking.
I will burn this entire... I'm not kidding.
So are you guys dating now?
It's one thing to take it from the listeners, man. I am not going to sit here and take it from... Mr. D. Simon, I won't.
know.
I won't.
I had to slip that one in.
Okay.
So are you guys dating? Are you an official item? Can you date a person like that?
We'll see. I think so. I mean, I spent the other night with her. We had a lovely evening.
Does she text you and say like, "Hey, Harrison, how's your day going? Thinking of you," and send you a couple unicorn emojis or something?
Yeah. She has what? Yeah, she texted me today.
I picture she would be like sending you something in some weird moon man language.
Right.
From like the
no, it's pretty
the Keepers of Neptune or something.
Pretty normal. I mean, she's she's getting my vape thing fixed. She knows a lot about that. My vaporizer, and getting me on these regimen of nootropics.
I don't even know what those are.
Yeah. They're like weird drugs. Like this, for instance, one of which is a Soviet drug. It's kind of like Soviet Molly.
Where's she getting this like Soviet drugs?
Molly.
Where's she getting this stuff from?
I don't know. She's from or she's Armenian.
Oh, okay.
So she smokes a lot of cigarettes. Denim cigarettes is the brand. I guess they take it back from Armenia.
You should be careful with that one.
She speaks
Armenian. She could have
Armenian.
an Armenian curse. She could lay an Armenian curse on you.
Well, I've met her father. Her father's very nice. Father.
Are they wealthy or something?
Armenian guy.
They're just a normal family.
They're a normal family.
With a pool house and an insane daughter that lives back there.
I mean, I don't know what her official diagnosis is. I mean, I don't, I'm not really sure what mine is either.
I want to try to figure out.
Is Animaniac, is that a diagnosis? Is that in the DSM-4?
I'm going to let you know in advance if there are any other social events that you could bring her to.
Okay.
Like maybe bar mitzvahs or...
I think
christenings, quinceañeras.
I think I'm a persona non grata.
What made you think like? When did you get the first reservation? Like, oh no, did I do something last night?
The next day.
Did you text Lenora?
Yes.
So what was her response?
She was like, "Oh no, we're fine," but things were a little, things were a little not okay.
I do know a few people,
but I don't know.
About
but
the
everybody in LA tells you everything is fine all the time. Nobody tells you no. Nobody tells you like, no, we don't want to pick up your TV series. They're like, hey, it's great. Hey, I'm gonna go over here behind this tree, and then wait a minute, and then when you come around, they're gone. That's what nobody just tells you. No, we don't like your show.
It's a passive aggressive city. That's what they like to talk behind your back. But to your face, you're best friends.
Right. So
that's the way it works here.
I don't know. I'm a little concerned about my standing in the fishbowl social scene that we both are a part of here.
Well, if it's up to me, if I'm invited to a social event, I will extend the invitation to you and the Animaniac just for the lulz. Right. Because she was very entertaining. I actually kind of feel like she's sort of a party terrorist, a social terrorist, if you will. She could just come to an event and just completely just turn it upside down.
Oh, yeah.
Cause chaos in her wake. I like that.
I know a lot of people like that.
Social terrorists?
Yeah.
I kind of like the social terrorists, where it's like you could bring someone who's a total live wire.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going to happen. Because most parties, they're kind of mundane. You know what's going to happen. People are going to eat. They're going to, like, give some gifts, take a lot of selfies. But you bring a social terrorist, everybody's going to be on edge.
Well, for some reason, I felt like I couldn't go unless I brought a date. Like, I had this huge anxiety attack about it. Because everyone else had a fucking date. First of all.
Everybody there.
Everyone, all right? And I felt like I can't go unless I have a date, you know? And I had been talking to this woman, you know, and I was like, "Hey, you want to come?" And she hadn't been out out of the house in quite some time. You know,
go figure. I'd never guessed that.
She's in a little bit of a Norma Desmond type reclusion these days, you know. In fact, I'm hoping to one day be found dead in her swimming pool. You know,
I could see her reenacting Henrik Ibsen plays with her taxidermy.
Right. Well, that'd be, yeah. I mean, there's a baboon
high
skull.
on her Russian Molly.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely bring her out to the next social engagement. I'll let you know.
The part of Uncle Vanya will be played by this baboon skull.
She's like a baader-meinhof terrorist.
Yes.
Yeah. I felt like I needed to say
Meets
that.
Nina Hagen.
Yeah, she's like Nina Hagen meeting the baader-meinhof terrorists.
Yep.
The reason I'm bringing them up is they're back in the news. Baader-Meinhof.
I'm as surprised as everyone is.
The Red Army faction. They've been forgotten about for decades, and now they're back in the news. I bet you a lot of our listeners have no idea what we're talking about.
Probably not. I mean, it's a kind of a weird little
It's obscure.
thing. Yeah.
It's obscure. But, you know, I read it. I read this article, and I was like kind of excited about it because I was thinking, I'm sort of bored with ISIS. I'm sort of bored with Al-Qaeda. I'm just bored with the Middle Eastern terrorists.
Right, yeah.
I feel like it's like, okay, hijack a plane, yell Allah Akbar a few times, could blow something up.
Yeah.
Meh. Whereas, like, these guys, Baader-Meinhof terrorists, had, like, intricate, like, complex operations.
They did,
like,
yeah.
involving, like, cars and outfits, and, you know, they would do armored truck heists. Like, ISIS just, I don't know, they could blow up a building or something.
Yeah, no. The activities of ISIS can't really be put together well in a 70s cinematic montage.
That's
Whereas
true.
Baader-Meinhof, you know, you have a lot of, like, close-ups on the wheels of tires going and, you know, a lot of kind of Michael Mann shit you could do cinematically with them. You can't do that with ISIS.
I'm trying to think of the, there was a really cool English 70s gangster movie that came out a couple years ago. I'm blanking on the name right now, but it made me think of Baader-Meinhof because they always wore really cool 70s clothes.
They did, yeah.
You know, they had they were stylish. I think right now they would be very hip.
Right.
Like if you want to, you know, I actually feel like ISIS should take note on Baader-Meinhof.
And they were the unofficial, they were unofficially sanctioned by the Stasi.
Yeah.
And the Stasi doesn't exist anymore. So it's kind of weird to have them around, you know?
Well, I mean, they were at one point one of the deadliest terrorist organizations in Europe.
Right.
But they disappeared. They were a radical left-wing German terrorist group. But recently, there's been they've been leaving tracks at the scenes of crimes throughout Germany, even though, you know, according to to the media, they retired like 20 years ago.
Right.
You know, no one's heard anything about them, and a couple of them went to jail. Anyway, some of the heists that they've recently been accused of, charged with here, were, I would say, kind of inept. They're bungled heists, and they even left their DNA behind because I just don't think they've kept up with
they don't
current
know
crime, criminal techniques.
They don't know that there's DNA anymore, you know?
They're old school.
Yeah.
So Ernst Volker Staub, 61 years old, Danielle Klatt, 57, and Burkhard Garweg, 47, were once part of Germany's deadly Red Army faction, or the RAF, also known as the Baader-Meinhof gang.
Yes.
They were responsible for around 30 murders of German capitalists and American military officials during a reign of homegrown terror that lasted from the 70s all the way up until 1998.
Yeah.
When the group officially disbanded. They had a really cool logo.
They did, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's a dope ass logo for
was
the
kind
Red
of-
Army faction.
Yeah, the Red Army
Yeah.
faction with the machine gun in the background.
Yeah.
Did they have official uniforms, or was it just wear cool 70s
I think
clothes?
wear cool 70s clothes
Yeah.
with like that weird white fur, you know, coming out of the jacket with the shirts.
Yeah,
the
with
whole
that
thing.
around the hood.
Dope ass sunglasses.
They did have some cool
Yeah.
sunglasses.
Yeah.
Did ISIS doesn't have a logo, do they?
They do. It's like it looks like a black flag with a bunch of white nonsense on it.
No, so it's like a bunch of Arabic characters
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah, it's just like looks like a
Boring.
shitty Coca-Cola can.
I just
that's
feel
black.
like if you're gonna have a domestic terrorist group or just a terrorist group in general, the logo is one of the most important things.
Oh, it's yeah.
I mean, that's how you spray painted around town.
I mean, a lot of times you just create a logo and then you don't bother to do the terrorist group.
That's
Just
true.
as far as you get. I mean, that should be the first thing you do is come up with the logo.
And then start putting it out there, you know?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
put it on Facebook. But these guys, were way pre-Facebook, pre-internet. They're old school.
Right. Well, I guess they need money now.
They
You
do.
know?
They do.
I mean,
And there's theories that that they're committing these heists and returning to crime to pay for their retirement.
Right.
That's what they know best.
I mean, why is, Night Ranger touring these days, It ain't because they want to, it's because they need money.
So back in its heyday, this is like in the 70s here, the gang was infamous for intricate plots. They kept law enforcement officials on their toes and made German residents feel quite vulnerable. There was a time in 1977, when a woman pushing a baby buggy seemed to accidentally step into the front of a chauffeur-driven car in Cologne, France, causing the driver to screech to a halt. The woman then pulled 2 semi-automatic weapons out from under the baby blankets, killed the driver and the bodyguards, while their associates commandeered the car and took Hans Martin Schleyer, a noted industrialist, hostage. They found Hans Martin dead a month later in the trunk of the car.
God damn.
Now that is an intricate plot.
Yeah.
That is terrorism to me.
That is, yeah.
Just going up, blowing a school bus or or whatever ISIS does. What does ISIS do? ISIS blows up like sites in Pakistan or
They
Yemen.
take over, they take over towns for the caliphate, They're all about the caliphate these
It's
days,
the caliphate, though, but it's in the
Yeah.
Middle East. No one knows about it.
Yeah,
No
it's
one
true.
really cares.
No.
I suppose when Al-Qaeda did the attack on the tube in Britain, that was a pretty good act of terrorism. It's frightening.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it just doesn't quite have the same, It's like, what do they want? Islam, whatever. Islam, whatever. You don't even need to go into it more. Some
As soon as
garbage.
they say Allah Akbar, it's
yeah.
To me, it's just kind of boring. It's meh.
They're no Aum Shinrikyo, you know what I mean?
Like,
they're
these
not,
guys
they're not,
had-
they don't got sarin gas in the fucking subways and all that.
That's
nonsense.
true. Like, these guys have panache.
Yeah.
And I think ISIS could learn a bit of that.
Yeah, it's a lot like that movie. I imagine their whole reign of terror was a lot like that movie Ronin.
Oh, yeah.
Which is like Robert De Niro and Jean Reno driving around France really fast, and then in between car chases, they stop and have like cappuccino, and they're sitting there at the outdoor cafe, and then the car chase again, and they're doing, that's class right there. That shit is classy as fuck.
That is classic, 1970s, late 20th century terrorism.
Yeah.
So baader-meinhof here actually went to Jordan, where they're trained in weaponry and guerrilla warfare by members of the PLO.
That's lovely.
Yeah, Palestinian Liberation Organization. They returned to Germany, started a campaign of bombing and kidnapping. They committed a lot of robberies to finance all their ventures here. They're eventually, both of them, Baader and Meinhof, were captured, and they took their own lives in prison. But the RAF lived on and enjoyed the support of around 25% of young Germans.
But their only real legacy in the West was the Saturday Night Live skit Sprockets.
Was Sprockets based on Baader-Meinhof?
I'm going to go ahead and assume
Let's
it was.
say yes.
Yeah, let's say yes.
I think if Baader and Meinhof, when they weren't committing some atrocious act of terrorism, were probably having Sprockets dance parties.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
were very into noise art, I would imagine, Sure.
Did you say there was a movie that came out about krautrock and the
It's
RAF?
a graphic novel actually called
Graphic novel.
One Model Nation, which I very much enjoy.
So it was about the terrorist group, but just like an art rock band that was a part of it?
Yeah, that was connected to them. Like a Krautwerk style band that was fake Krautwerk that I'm sorry, Kraftwerk. Kraftwerk that was connected to the band. So yeah.
So they were quite feared in Germany at the time, an infamous terrorist group, but then they simply disappeared. And they actually announced their demise. They contacted the media and said, today we're ending this project. The urban guerrilla group in the form of the RAF is now history. We are stuck in a dead end. So they actually announced their demise. Right. That is class.
When was that?
1998.
Okay.
And they contacted press outlets and said, you know what? We're officially done.
I didn't even know they were doing stuff until that point.
No, I think they realized, like, okay, we're kind of, internet's complicating things.
Communism fell.
The
wall, the Berlin Wall.
What's the point?
Yeah.
So several of the group members actually finished their prison terms, and no one really in Germany even thought about them until just last week, when there was a surveillance footage caught a crime that occurred in Germany. 3 people dressed in somewhat dated camouflage garb. Like they busted out their old uniforms.
Like really, really, really long collars, right?
Yeah, I think they had like the 70s bell bottoms.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like the pants had bell bottoms on it. The 3 staked out an armored security van in the parking lot of a supermarket in Bremen, Germany. They approached the van carrying assault rifles and a rocket launcher after blocking it in with their Volkswagen van here.
Oh.
So they had one of those hippie Volkswagen vans.
Right.
They fired on the van, but they're out of date
One of those
munitions.
hippie Volkswagen bands that was so popular with the Third Reich. Yes, one of those. Okay.
Well, remember those? What were those vans called? The Vanagons that all the hippies drove in the 60s?
Yeah, I know what you're talking. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
I bet you they broke it out like the Flower Power Vanagon.
Right.
Took their 1960s weaponry. Probably haven't launched a rocket from that rocket launcher in 3 decades.
Did they have it in storage? Did they have these weapons in
They probably
storage?
had it hidden somewhere.
Yeah.
And then they busted it out along with their 1970s camouflage garb. They fired on the van, but the out-of-date munitions were no match for the updated reinforced armor. So the officers ended up calling for help, and the gang members couldn't get into the vehicle, so they just escaped in a beat-up Ford Focus, which they later abandoned. However, DNA was still able to be collected from the vehicle. So there you go.
Wait, so the gun it wouldn't pierce the armor, or what happened?
No, I imagine imagine these were 1960s flower power weapons.
Yeah.
What was it shooting?
Wow, that's amazing.
Some incense and patchouli.
Yeah,
patchouli bombs. I'm not quite sure.
You got to maintain these weapons. You can't just
get some new weapons.
Yeah.
I bet you they're hidden in there for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
It's not going to work. It's not going to be as effective.
I thought you had the keys for the you store it. No, I thought you had it. The whole conversation must have happened, and they finally got it out. It's all dusty. They didn't even bother to fucking clean it.
Yeah.
Jesus.
And they probably didn't know anything about DNA testing.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
So now German authorities are offering a $220,000 reward for the threesome, who have been reduced to quick-hit grocery store heists, which I imagine are a little easier than the armored car robberies.
Wow.
Yeah. And now the German authorities are taunting them, saying that they're very sloppy, inept crimes here.
Huh.
But they claim that the baader-meinhof alumni here are likely stooping to grocery store holdups to pay for their retirement. But, as you mentioned before, couldn't they just go on and do a GoFundMe or a Kickstarter?
They totally could. They get a ton of fucking money. They probably don't even know what that is, though.
Yeah, but I mean, if they had some tech savvy supporter or something, some young German technorati person here that went on there and contacted them, was like, hey, you know what? Let's just start a GoFundMe for the Baader-Meinhof retirement package.
I'll be their social media manager. Absolutely. In a goddamn second, guys.
I think what they need to do is get on Twitter,
get
a Facebook page, start going off about things you're upset about, and instead of going and bombing things and holding up armored cars or robbing the local Ralphs, I think you should actually just do a GoFundMe. You'd make enough money.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, disgruntled hipsters, that would be like, oh yeah, Baader-Meinhof.
Yeah,
I'll give you $100 a month.
I mean, it's hard to have elaborate heists when you're starting to get dementia.
Well, that's the thing. They're in their 60s.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
But they're in their 60s. That's when you get it. Sometimes people get dementia in their 60s.
Yeah.
And it's times have changed. We have DNA testing now.
Mm-hmm.
We have armored vehicles with you got to get modern weaponry if you're going to try to rob an armored truck.
Yeah. I mean, all the, you get, what are the Kickstarter rewards on that? You can have some great rewards.
I bet you they have all. I mean, if they kept all their weapons and their flower power truck,
you have them do a little video. If you give $100, Baader-Meinhof will do a video for your Facebook wall. Have a fucking terrorist organization do a video for you. Hey, Brooke. Hey Brooke, we are here in our secret headquarters posting on your Facebook wall. Happy birthday!
See, they could do custom birthday requests.
Fucking great, and they'd be retired to be set. They'd be done.
And I bet you they'd only have to do that for maybe a year. And then they'd be set. They wouldn't have to. But now what's going to happen, once they're caught, the trio face life sentences for crimes tied to ancient RAF activity. Apparently, there's no statute of limitations on that. So, life imprisonment covers their retirement costs.
Yeah, I guess it does, yeah.
But, I lament the fact, like, there was a time when terrorism used to be fashionable. It used to be kind of... What about who was the group that took Patty Hearst hostage?
The
Liberation Front,
Symbionese Liberation Army, which means nothing.
It means
just
nothing,
meaningless.
but they were cool.
But
they were cool.
that in itself was cool.
Yeah,
this symbiote, doesn't mean anything.
And then, they had cool uniforms.
Yep.
They'd come out like the Black Panthers.
Yeah.
That was another slick terrorist organization. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, ISIS. It's like you walk around with you're beheading people on video.
Mildly related, Dead Presidents, great film.
That was a damn fine film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of all over the place, but it's still excellent.
Yeah, I long for the days when a terrorist organization used to be fashionable and stylish.
Yeah.
And used to have intricate plots, with masterminds. Now it's just like, let's go blow up a building. Let's go make people take their shoes off at airports.
Right.
With their body scanners.
Yeah.
Because they're going to, take a plane and fly it into a building. Boring.
And especially, I feel like if you needed to explain what they were trying to do, you'd need like a master's degree in political science.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're like,
it made no sense.
Oh, why did they kill your uncle in that bombing, Terry? And you'd be like, well, I don't really know. It's so complicated. I can't even explain it. I don't understand.
I can't even begin to explain the context here of what happened. Yeah.
Where instead of just like, I don't know, radical Islam,
I don't know. I feel like a lot of those radical Islamists can just take a lesson here from baader-meinhof or the Symbionese Liberation Front. Let's make terrorism great again. It's boring now.
Right.
I could see that.
I can't wait until you get letters from orphans who were killed in these terrorist attacks. I just cannot wait. It's going to be great.
People's episode 535 here is Sick and Wrong. This is kind of an old school Sick and Wrong, just regular Sick and Wrong news stories, phone calls. Just me and Harrison. We don't have any extravagant guests, any wacky, whack-pack people here. We're not going to be talking about feces the entire... This is just a regular show. Because there's a lot that happened in the news. Actually, even Harrison has a personal connection to one of the stories we're going to do.
Oh, yes.
So anyways, we have Sick and Wrong news coming up next, and phone calls after that. Before we get to that, here's a word from AdamandEve.com.
Go to adamandeve.com, and for a limited time only, you'll get 50% off just about any item. When you select your one free item at 50% off, you'll also receive 3 free adult DVDs, plus a free exclusive gift. And to top it all off, they'll even throw in free shipping on your entire order. And what's that free exclusive gift? It's the Clit Bumper, the ideal pleasure ring for couples. He'll love the way this love ring lets him stay harder, longer. It increases the strength of orgasm, and she'll love the way the pleasure nubs thrill her sweet spots. The unique bumper stimulates her clitoris, and it's soft and stretchy for a comfortable fit. The Clit Bumper is made of premium silicone, it's waterproof, and it's compatible with all water-based lubes. Use code DIDDLE at checkout. That's DIDDLE at adamandeve.com.
So Harrison, Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, he died this weekend.
He died, yes. It's very sad.
Muhammad Ali. Wasn't Muhammad Ali suffering from Parkinson's or something for the past 20 years?
Yeah, I think he had Parkinson's. I think he had everything
Dementia,
you could get. Yeah, everything.
Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
But they would still bring him out to award shows. I remember for a period of time, he was still making public appearances, and they'd bring him out, and then everybody just kind of sit there and just wait anxiously for him to actually finish saying one sentence.
Yeah.
It was so awkward.
Well, any boxer that lives past age 60, it's basically you're just bringing out fucking
dead.
Frankenstein's monster. You're like, "Rah!" You're just bringing out a giant, half lucid creature.
And that's the thing. I mean, it's like his head has been pummeled into oblivion.
Yeah.
And the guy's got to have several strokes. His brain is just kind of
Though weirdly
mush
enough,
at this point. It's mashed potatoes.
I heard George Foreman talking about him on, talking about the Rumble in the Jungle, talking about Muhammad Ali over the weekend. He sounded fairly lucid,
Foreman still hawks that grill, though.
Yeah, maybe it's all the maybe he drinks the fat that goes, that slides off the grill.
Sliding off the grill.
And just drinks it. Maybe that's the key to his success.
But yeah, I just remember they would bring Ali out to different public events and then expect him to say something, and like his wife or his daughter would be like, come on, come on, come on. And everybody would just kind of awkwardly be like, okay, come on, champ, yeah. And it was just awkward. At least they stopped doing that in recent times.
Right, yeah.
But anyway, I mean, there's no doubt about it. Undoubtedly, I mean, the greatest boxer of all time.
And
Ali.
he was also a pioneer of the self-promotional culture that we all live in today.
What other athlete promoted himself so vigorously as Muhammad Ali?
People were horrified when this happened back in the day. I mean, not just because he was a black guy, just because people didn't do that back then.
That level of arrogance was non-existent.
Yeah, no.
Especially in professional sports.
Yeah.
Even in, politics, it was non-existent too. But definitely in professional sports where people are supposed to be, these role models. It's like here you have Ali coming out. Not to mention would he be, promoting himself, he also denigrated his opponents in public. I think he called Sonny Liston a gorilla. And I don't know what else he said about Foreman. But yeah,
he said they were ugly, Yeah.
And he used to just call himself the greatest, all the time. I'm the greatest. But he was. I mean, he's amazing. He won dozens of championships, 3 heavyweight titles, an Olympic gold medal. He was also no stranger to controversy. He was born Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr. in 1942, but he changed his name. He renounced his slave name when he converted to Islam in the 60s. He was a black Muslim.
Right.
Changed his name to Muhammad Ali. And he was a vocal proponent of the religion even up to last week when he recently spoke out against Donald Trump's proposal to ban Muslims from the country. I guess that wasn't last week, but it was recent.
He spoke? I didn't even know he could still speak.
Well, I think he was tweeting about it.
Oh,
his handlers were tweeting about it. But you have Trump going out and saying, rest in peace, Muhammad Ali, you're a champion. And it's like, you were just denouncing Muslims and wanting to block Muslims from coming in this country.
I consider it really amusing. Well, okay, not really amusing, but interesting when you look back in the 60s and you think of how threatening people, white America, let's say, found the Nation of Islam and black Muslims, like how dangerous they were really frightened of it. When you compare it now to the Islamic threats faced, it's like, who gives a shit?
That's why. What do the black Muslims though think of like the radical Islamist factions? Like they're not aligned. I mean, it was just basically Farrakhan just hating on everybody.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And singing some great fucking calypso. That guy. It's good stuff.
He was pretty good with that.
Yeah.
Ali's boxing career was involuntarily paused by the government when he was arrested and convicted of draft dodging for refusing to serve in Vietnam.
Wasn't that overturned on appeal, though, or something?
It was eventually.
Yeah.
He says in his reasoning, that's one thing I always loved about Muhammad Ali, is his laconic statements. I ain't got no quarrel with them Viet Cong.
Right.
Yeah. He
true.
says my conscience won't let me go shoot my brother or some darker people or some poor hungry people.
Yeah.
And so we should shoot them for what? And it's true. He was banned from the sport. He lost his heavyweight belt, but the U.S. Supreme Court later overturned the conviction in 1971.
And it is kind of, when you think back on it, it is kind of insane that if you were black in America in the 60s to be expected to fight in that shitty war, even though, you weren't really fully a citizen, practically.
Well, would Ali have actually been expected to fight? Or would he have just been like Elvis and got like a, you could go work in the kitchen? Take some photo opportunities.
Man. I don't know. I'm sure he would have made some enemies, quick. They would have, yeah, he would have been in the meat grinder, man,
Maybe.
Yeah.
What was Trump's excuse for Vietnam?
It was like, it was like he hurt his ankle. It was something really dumb,
Is it really?
Yeah.
He hurt his ankle?
Yeah, it was something really stupid. It was like,
at least Hillary could be like, I'm a woman, okay?
Yeah.
I have a vagina. There's no way I'm going to go there.
Yeah.
Whereas like Trump has to come up with some excuse.
Right.
Like, I'm too wealthy to go fight in Vietnam. I'm too wealthy to kill poor people.
Yeah, and I think it was just like he was rich, so he could do whatever. He could get out of it,
Just pay, give some kind of donation to something.
Right.
So Ali was...
I think it was actually one of those things that was like why Superman didn't fight in World War II. Like they had him do the eye exam, but he failed the eye exam because he had X-ray vision, and he saw into the next room and read that chart instead of the eye chart. So he failed the eye exam. That's why Superman
That's why Superman didn't
That
fight?
is literally why Superman did not fight in World War II.
That is the weakest excuse I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Donald Trump used the same excuse. So
I mean, would there even been a war if Superman was fighting?
No.
Yeah.
No, there wouldn't have been. Yeah.
Ali was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 1984, and the symptoms visibly accelerated in recent years. And last September, he stopped making public appearances. So, anyway, rest in peace. Greatest of all time. I'll drink to you, Muhammad Ali. I actually watched a bit of the weigh-in before the Rumble in the Jungle, and Ali just talked so much shit.
Yeah.
Like no one else did that.
Yeah.
Hey, Blue Minds.
Well, I mean, I feel like there's no other boxer that I know where it's like I actually know the techniques that they developed. You know?
Yeah, I mean,
I can't think of any other boxer that and I don't really know that much about boxing, but I know about that.
Well, but he was also exciting to watch.
Yeah.
You know, and he was the heavyweight champion of the world. They don't even fight matches like that, like Rumble in the Jungle. That was like in the Congo?
Yeah.
Is that where they fought that? Thrilla in Manila? Like, they don't do that anymore now.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. Next story we got here. This one's interesting because it harkens back to another time. You know, it's an anachronistic story. Colorado man was arrested after challenging daughter to a duel. Duel. When's the last time you heard somebody challenge another person to a duel?
I haven't heard of that in a long time, but it's one of those things that I kind of wish was still legal, you know?
Well, it's like now what do? You just kind of call somebody out, you shove each other a few times, and then maybe you wrestle and they pull you apart.
Yeah. Or you sue them.
Or you sue them, yeah.
Tort law.
Or then you go on Facebook and you make a bunch of, condescending comments, like passive-aggressive statements. That's what we do now. Back then, it's just where you throw a glove down and we're going to duel.
Now you just throw shade, you know?
Yeah. But wasn't there were like ground rules for duels?
Yes. For instance, if you challenged me to a duel.
Like if I was like, Harrison, let us duel.
Yeah. Like you just had enough of me and I did that. I could say no, but then I'd be humiliated.
Yeah, scorn.
You know?
I mean, you'd invite all the public school.
Oh yeah,
contempt.
Yeah. I'd be looked at as a coward. But if you're challenging me, I get to say what the weapons are, and I get to say where we're going to duel and the parameters of the duel.
So wait, you get to basically arrange and organize the duel, even though I'm challenging you for the duel.
Yes, because you challenge
I'm
it.
the aggressor.
Yeah, you're the aggressor. So my advantage is I get to choose the weapons, and so I could choose like a weapon that I'm good at, and you know.
So then you'd have the advantage. What were the weapons? I mean, were they all like swords, guns?
Yeah, swords, guns. You could choose anything really.
You could do a mace. You could do like old school, like a Morning Star.
Yeah,
Wow.
banjos at dawn. Whatever you want to do. You know, however you want to do it. You could do because you could do like we both have pistols. And then, like, we're going to shoot at each other. And then, if we're still both standing, then it's swords. Then you go to swords from there.
And then, so it starts with pistols, and then you go to swords.
Yeah, because, in the early, 19th century, those pistols only pistols only fired, 50% of the time.
And you only had, one or two shots.
And
right?
there's, a 10% chance your hand gets blown off. They're just bad, those pistols. They don't work very well.
I just think there's something romantic about a duel.
Yeah.
That they just don't have right now with fights. Like
That's
now you just see world star hip hop.
Right.
And two people going at it in their driveway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just not, I don't know.
Tumbleweaves going by,
Yeah.
Forget it.
The challenge here led to a brief shootout in the family's El Paso County home this past Wednesday. So a Colorado man is facing child abuse charges after allegedly challenging his daughter to a firearm duel.
Why did he challenge? What did she say to him? Did she disrespect him in some way?
Well, they don't really get into it here, but the details about the origin of the argument here. But they say that he was arguing with his daughter around 7:30 that night when he just pulled a handgun on her and his wife. He then allegedly ordered his daughter to go to another room and fetch a gun so they could duel. And I guess he used the word duel several times. When did they stop dueling?
I think it was some point in the late 19th century. Some point around before, yeah. It just fell out of favor. I don't think there was ever a law really that was
they never said dueling. But I mean, back then, didn't Andrew Jackson, or what, I thought a president either died or killed someone else in a duel.
Yeah,
Like,
Alexander Hamilton.
Alexander Hamilton.
Aaron
Who did
Burr.
he duel?
Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you could actually
He got
duel a
killed by-
president.
yeah.
Like right now,
And
if
this
you
guy, clearly this guy read Alexander Hamilton's Guide to Parenting. You know? But because we don't really have that many good guys. Yeah, we had that, and then we have, what, Fatherhood by Bill Cosby.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
about
between
it.
those two, that's really all you got. So...
And I don't know if I don't put much stock in Bill Cosby's fatherhood claims.
No.
Yeah, but you couldn't like go and duel Donald Trump. Just wouldn't happen now. I
No,
mean,
you
Bernie
can't.
Sanders just tried to debate him.
Yeah.
I mean, that's
no.
basically a modern day duel, and he refused to do that.
Yeah.
So the bizarre challenge led to an actual shootout before Robert Williams was safely taken into custody. So I don't want to, not to be confused with the infamous lowbrow artist Robert Williams. This is
Oh.
a different Robert Williams.
Okay. All right.
You know, Robert Williams, who did that, the painting of the Appetite for Destruction album that was used for
Oh,
Appetite. That Robert Williams.
Is that the one with the robot and the girl?
And the girl that was
Yeah.
raped by the robot?
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I remember I got in big trouble for that.
Did you have a T-shirt?
My mom. No, I had the album.
Oh, you
and
had
my
the
mom
album.
saw the thing inside and then took it away.
I remember there was a kid in junior high that he actually had the T-shirt with that. It said Guns N' Roses was here, and there's a girl raped, and it was topless, and the
Yeah.
robot. And he used to wear that shirt almost every day. And every day, the assistant vice principal would come over and be like, "You need to turn that shirt inside out."
Yeah.
But he would do it. He was, he'd do it defiantly. It was like his battle. Yeah. So a struggle ensued during the duel, and a round was actually fired by the father. The daughter then fired a round in the direction of the father. So there was shots were exchanged here
That's cool. Where did this happen?
in Colorado.
Okay.
As the wife and daughter tried to flee the home, Williams then grabbed a shotgun from a shed and pointed it at his wife. She was able to get it away from him and then called 911. Women in
That's
Colorado.
not sportsmanlike at all, though.
No, this guy's
The duel wasn't with the wife. You can't. No, he's going off book here. And I'm not cool with that. At all.
I don't think he, had the traditional duel, with the actual ground rules where you choose the weapons in advance.
Right.
But Colorado women are tough.
Oh yeah.
Jesus. Like most states, like in California, you probably would have killed the daughter.
Well, they're
Shot
all
the wife.
They're all what, silver miners, right, or something?
Is that what they were then?
I don't know what people are.
Fortunately for everyone involved, no one was actually injured, and Williams was booked on 2 counts of felony menacing, prohibited use of a weapon, and child abuse. They never actually released the age of the daughter, but I'm hoping she was like 8 or 9.
Yeah.
Because wouldn't that be a badass?
That would be good.
You
Yeah,
know?
that would be great.
That's like how Black Widow was formed.
I mean, that's a college admissions essay right there. You
Yeah.
know? There you go. Who's going to say no to that? Come on.
I was challenged to a duel with my father,
Yeah.
and I killed him. It's like, wow, okay, you were accepted into Yale.
Yeah.
What you actually? So now you have a connection to a story here. You posted something about it on Facebook, but I had read the story and I was like, I wonder if Harrison knows this guy.
Yeah. Oh.
So what happened here? This is
right.
gruesome.
So first off, somebody sent this in. I mean, we probably would have talked about this anyway, but somebody actually sent this in and said, I could see Harrison doing this if he ever gets a girlfriend. Corey sent that in. And first of all, I don't know what...
Burn.
I don't know what about me has led people to believe that I would somehow commit a murder, other than, my sexual proclivities, my
Maybe it's
relaxed
your
attitude towards drug use and abuse.
maybe it's your S&M predilections.
But I think that makes me less likely because I'm more in touch. I'm more self-aware and I'm more in touch with those darker sides of my personality. It's the people who aren't fucking in touch with those sides. Those are the people you got to fucking worry about.
And I wouldn't say you're a sadist.
I'm not.
Anyway, that's the thing.
I'm not really about
Although,
pain.
I'm interested to know why people think it's like, kind of an impossible feat for you to get a girlfriend.
It's pretty rough. It's pretty tough these days. I gotta put up a pretty goddamn big Potemkin village to make that happen, and I just don't have the fucking energy to do that anymore.
You seem to be faring pretty well amongst the mental patients.
I do very well on paper. I look great on paper, guys. That should be my fucking tombstone epitaph. Anyway, here's the headline. Boyfriend of LA woman whose blood was drained is charged with murder. Attorneys say Yana Cassian, 30, was tortured and mutilated before she was killed. All right, so I'm going to get into this in a second, but it starts off, an aspiring screenwriter in California who authored a graphic novel about a condemned serial killer has been accused of borrowing grisly techniques from his own story to murder his estranged girlfriend.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, he's actually using his own techniques that he's written about.
Yeah.
To murder his estranged girlfriend.
Yes.
Is that the graphic novel right there?
Turns out this is a different one. This is Operation Redux, which is his graphic novel about a former neo-Nazi who becomes a wet work guy for the CIA. And it's a whole thing. That's a different book. He wrote some book about a serial killer, apparently.
So did you know this guy personally?
Blake Leibel. Yes, I did.
How did you hang out or
we shared a table?
Backgammon?
We shared a table at Comic-Con last year.
Whoa!
Yeah, so I spent about a large portion of time with this guy.
So did he seem like a psycho to you?
No, he just seemed like a regular comic nerd guy.
Just schlubby comic book nerd guy.
Yeah, he worked for Wilmer Valderrama's production company.
Who's that guy? That's that 70s show.
The guy who played Fez on that 70s show. You know, with David Hyde Pierce. No, not David Hyde Pierce. Who's the guy who played Hyde on that 70s show?
David Hyde Pierce was from Frasier.
Right, yeah. Who's the guy who played Hyde on that 70s show?
I never even liked that show.
That guy owns Harvard and Stone, which is a bar down the street.
What? One of the guys from that 70s show owns Harvard and Stone?
Co-owns it, yes.
Which guy is Hyde?
I don't remember the actor's name.
But was the guy with the afro?
Yeah, the guy with the afro.
The curly afro.
Yeah, the curly afro guy, right?
I know who you're talking about.
In a bar where I once met a woman named Victoria, who I went on a date with, who is famous for photographing a girl named Deathy, who I am now romantically entangled with.
Wow, 6 degrees of insanity here.
Coincidence?
I think not. I don't know.
So yeah, anyway, I knew this guy. I spent we shared his booth at Comic-Con.
Did you actually chat with him? Like, did you have
Yes.
Did you meet his girlfriend?
No, I didn't. I don't know if he was dating her at this time. This is about a year ago.
She's kind of hot.
They had a baby together.
Oh, wow.
She'd given birth 2 weeks prior.
Oh, wow. They just had, so now they have an infant.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
This kid's now this kid's going to have to be raised by like a foster family.
Well, let's not go nuts here.
Family.
They want the family of this woman, because this woman was from the Ukraine. They want to take the baby back to the Ukraine.
Yeah, but isn't his family really wealthy?
His family's very, very wealthy.
Why would you want to ship the baby back to Ukraine?
Well, here's the thing. It doesn't matter, because either way, this baby stands to inherit a large plastics fortune from Toronto, Canada.
Wow. Okay, so this guy came from a lot of money.
Let's see here. The Los Angeles Times reports that Leibel is the son of a wealthy Toronto developer and former Olympic athlete. His mother, who died in 2011, was the heiress to a plastics fortune. Court documents obtained by the Times indicate that Leibel received a monthly allowance of nearly $18,000. And
$18,000 a month.
There are a lot of people in comics like this because you don't make any money. So it's like a thing. It's like a vanity thing you can go into if you're rich.
Yeah, I was about to say, though, I was going to ask, is this guy more successful than you in the comic book world? But I'm
absolutely.
Like, if the guy's making $18,000 a month, I would be successful in the comic book world.
Right, you would be, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I was actually talking to this guy. I was actually like, I think this was back when I could still believe people could help me somehow. Now I don't believe that. But I was actually talking to this guy because I'm like, maybe he can help me.
Like a connection or something.
Yeah. And then we went out for drinks, and it was like it's weird. This has never actually happened to me before, and it's totally irrational, but you kind of feel like I could have prevented this,
Well, what are you, an oracle? Are you going to say in a year from now you will murder your estranged girlfriend?
If I'd known, it's technically true that I could have prevented it.
What would you have done?
Technically, it is true. I could have murdered him. I would murder him. I would do it.
I guess you could have gone back in time and murdered him. But why would you do that?
Or at the time, if I knew, if I had a non-linear perspective on time, right? I could just see time as a non-linear thing.
But now we're getting into Minority Report.
Okay, yeah.
So now you're going to condemn some guy who hasn't even committed the crime yet.
Yeah. Yes, I am. Yeah.
I don't know. Who made you judge, jury, and executioner?
Who made you judge Judy?
Who made you judge Judy? So, okay, what happened here with this guy?
Oh man! All right, so no, I'm sorry. This is actually isn't funny. I actually read about this, and I actually like got physically ill when I read about this. It actually kind of made me. Because normally,
It's disturbing.
I'm a jaded fucking guy. You know, I don't get affected by things. But I actually read this, and when I realized that, I was like, wait a minute, this can't be the guy. This can't be the guy. This is the guy, and I have his fucking book in my goddamn shelf. I want to vomit.
Well, it's always weird when you have a personal connection to a subject of the story.
Yeah. A 35-year-old native of Canada who is living in West Hollywood has been charged with 1 count each of murder, mayhem, aggravated mayhem, and torture. And mayhem legally is actually a lot less fun than it sounds. You know, it sounds like a fun thing. It's not. Legally, it means you did some terrible things.
Yeah, something just
just
abominable.
Yeah, but anyway, 30-year-old Yana Cassian, who was reported missing on May 24th, appears to have died as a result of blunt force trauma to the head. Cassian was tortured and mutilated before she was killed, and all of her blood was drained from her body.
Jesus.
Yeah, the
That's
district
crazy.
attorney's office said. Mm-hmm.
How do you even do that?
The
do you
slaying,
just hang them upside down and just let it drip?
Apparently he hung her upside down. The slaying sounds eerily familiar to a fictional crime in Libel's 2010 graphic novel Syndrome, in which a serial killer hangs a couple from their ankles and slashes their throats, draining their bodies of blood.
Wow, do you think this was this guy's fantasy?
I think it might have been.
Huh. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You would think if you're going to commit a horrible murder like this, you probably would do something exactly how you wrote about it in your book.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think, like, he barricaded... Like, hold on. I'll get to this. But I think it was, like, kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing.
Yeah, but how could it be spur of the moment? I mean, he obviously had to buy something to hold her up on the ceiling.
I think it started as a spur-of-the-moment thing.
Okay.
And then his id... His just horrific id just took over, and then it just became a torture session that ended in murder.
So do you think it was the blunt force trauma to the head was a spur-of-the-moment thing? He killed her with the blunt force trauma, and then he was like, well, now that I have this dead body, I'm a bit of an opportunist. I might as well go to Home Depot, make it fun.
I think he just like, well, I might as well
Let's make an afternoon out of this.
Yeah. So, of course, a friend said, him being violent is so uncharacteristic of the person I've known for many years, said Ronald Richards, the attorney and friend.
Can you empathize with that? I mean, you talked to the guy for a day.
No, because you don't know what the fuck people are capable of, you know?
I suppose. I mean, did he talk about anything like that? You're like, wow, this guy's kind of psycho.
Like, if I ever did some horrible thing, nobody would say that about me. People would be like, yeah, he was into some weird shit, so I can kind of see that happening. But you never hear that. You never hear... It's always somebody's like, no, he couldn't have done it. Because, they said that about fucking BTK. They always say that shit.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just like people are dumb and they don't realize, anybody
or you don't really know a person.
You don't. You never know.
Even family members.
Exactly, yeah. So, anyway, he pleaded not guilty to the charges, so... Just, I guess, apply allegedly to everything I said prior to now. Just legally, this guy's rich, so.
So he barricaded himself in the apartment?
But he was found barricaded in the inside the apartment with her body. So, I mean, it's like,
well, that's...
What other, Anyway, but authorities said that on May 20th, roughly 2 weeks after Cassian gave birth to their first child, Leibel was arrested on suspicion of committing a sexual assault. Cassian reportedly moved out of the couple's apartment after Leibel's arrest and moved in with her mother. On the day of her disappearance, she reportedly told her mother she was going back to the apartment to speak with Leibel. And that is an important thing because you should never do that.
No,
ladies, if you're going back,
don't go back
to talk to your disgruntled, angry ex or whatever that you moved in with and then you've moved out, whatever the fuck. Bring at least one person with you, Always. Always. Never go by yourself to talk to... Like, it seems like silly, but this is actually a lot of women die like this, so it's not a good idea. It's a bad idea. I'm not to victim blame. I'm just saying for other people...
Just for future reference.
Yeah, for future reference.
Talk to your estranged ex who potentially could be violent... You might want to bring a buddy along.
Yeah.
Or at least have a rape whistle.
Because she probably thought she knew him well enough to be like, I'll be fine going over there talking to him, Like, you wouldn't even think. But
the guy just committed some sexual assault.
Right.
She obviously doesn't know the guy she married.
Right. They didn't marry. But
she didn't marry him.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Prosecutors have not yet decided if they will seek the death penalty. Yeah, and her family is very upset, obviously. The woman's family.
How do you think this will affect the sales of his book?
I don't know, actually. I don't think... I mean, I think like one of his things actually got optioned, but it's in that weird comics world where it's like, I don't really think many people read his shit. I think
it was just kind of an obscure... But I mean, who published it?
This one? God, I don't even know.
Was it his own publishing company, or did he
it was his own. Fantasy Prone and WV Enterprises, which is Wilmer Valderrama Enterprises. So the beloved Fez from that 70s show, an actor who portrays a vampire in the From Dusk Till Dawn TV series. Is responsible.
I'm not familiar with that. I am not familiar with the illustrious
not responsible
career.
Not responsible for the crime. I'm sorry. Not for the. Just let me. But for publishing this book, and probably the other one too.
Publishing the Murderers comic.
The Murderers, yes, graphic novel.
I've often wondered about how it would affect someone.
He's not on the website though. I checked. I looked up the website to see if he's still on there. He ain't. They took him off. They took him off. Yeah,
I can imagine. But I've often wondered how this would affect someone's work of art. So, for example, like if we had a listener that went on a shooting rampage wearing a Sick and Wrong shirt and was like, "I'm doing it to get on the Sick and Wrong podcast," do you think that would have a negative effect on our listenership on the show in general, or do you think it would be like, "Oh, I'm going to check out the show now"?
I think it would increase listenership. I think that it would make your life terrible.
It would. I think both of our lives would be affected by it.
You'd probably lose.
What would your parents say?
I still don't think. I still don't. They probably still wouldn't find out.
You don't think they would know if it was like national news? Some guy was wearing a Sick and Wrong shirt.
Unless it's on unless it's in the Providence Journal, they ain't gonna know because they don't read any other shit. You know?
Yeah.
Unless it's in the Providence Journal, they're not going to know about it.
Well, hopefully that does not happen. But that's interesting. So this guy right now, he didn't even do a murder-suicide. He just murdered, tortured, and then now he's arrested.
Yeah, and I didn't really I couldn't even get through this book, to be honest, so...
It's called. Yeah, we're not going to promote this guy's books.
No.
But it's interesting that you actually. Where'd you go to, like TGI Fridays or Bennigan's or something?
No, we went to some restaurant that's like right. Oh, it was right across from the San Diego Convention Center. But it was like Sci-Fi Channel themed because like the Sci-Fi Channel takes over.
Comic-Con.
Shit. So we had me and a friend of mine who I'm not going to mention his name. I don't want to connect him to the story. I'm not going to throw him under the bus. Was there,
But when you guys left afterwards, you parted ways. You weren't like, "Whoa, that guy is wacky."
No, he seemed he seemed normal.
Totally normal.
Yeah. And I was like, I wish I got a little more FaceTime. Because he seemed like I didn't know he was like a heir to whatever. It seemed like he had a job. Seemed like he had a day job that maybe wouldn't make me suicidal. So I was like, how's a guy get that? How does that happen? So I was kind of eager to figure it out.
People send your stories, sickandwrongpodcast@hotmail.com. We'll read them here on the show. We have new phone calls coming up to our new Sick and Wrong hotline. 323-522-4032 is that number. Before we get to our first call, here's another word from our sponsor.
It's Butt Plug Month on AdamandEve.com. Show that you still care by bringing something new into the bedroom. And by something new, I mean a butt plug. Because if you order right now and use coupon code DIDDLE, you get 50% off your first item, a gift so sensual I can't even tell you about it on this podcast that talks about murder and bukkake, and on top of all of that, free shipping. Support Sick and Wrong by supporting our sponsor, AdamandEve.com, and making a purchase with coupon code DIDDLE. That's DIDDLE.
People who call the new Sick and Wrong hotline, 323-522-4032. We have a few phone calls to get to. The first one here is in reference to a link that Harrison posted to his Facebook page about a web series you did called Polyester Dreams.
Yes.
When did you do this show?
It's like 2008, 2009, something like that.
So you do it when you were out east?
Yes, in New York.
And what was it, like a web series?
It was a web series, yeah.
Just on YouTube?
On YouTube and Blip TV, which is a thing that no longer exists. Actually, I thought the whole thing was off the web, to be honest. And then I realized it wasn't, which is why I posted that trailer. Because I was like, that's interesting. It was something I did. like for very little money. I borrowed equipment. I tricked people into helping me. It was fun. It promoted stuff like Coven, Jinx Dawson. A lot of music.
Oh wait, so you featured music in the show?
Yeah, each episode it was about a manic depressive prog rock radio DJ, right? And each episode would have a plot, and then in the middle of the episode there'd be a music video that I made for some old weird obscure song that would relate to the greater plot of the episode.
Oh,
yeah. So it'd be a weird way
Very
to
postmodern,
promote,
like a plot within a plot.
Yeah, and it'd be a weird way to promote some old ass fucking music.
That's gonna how so. What how do you do? 2 seasons, 3 seasons?
2 seasons, 20 episodes altogether.
Wow, that's kind of a lot.
Yeah, it was.
Did anything ever happen with it?
No, it got reviewed. I got laid a few times. I met some interesting people.
In the trailer, there's kind of an attractive girl. Who's that girl in it?
That's Amy Van Doren. Maybe.
She's hot.
Wait, I don't know which girl you're talking about. There are a few.
No, she had like dark hair, kind of goth looking. I think she kicked you in the balls.
Oh, I think that's Satu. I believe you're thinking of. Yes. Yeah.
She was kind of hot.
Yeah.
So what happened? It just kind of petered out.
Just kind of petered out. It was like something to do. At the time I was working full time and I was going to grad school, and I just needed some creative outlet. So I made this show.
So you posted it to Facebook, and then we got a call here from a Sick and Wrong listener who decided to offer up his review.
Yeah.
His critique.
It was just kind of weird because I wasn't posting it for peer review. This is not the New England Journal of Medicine. But the interesting thing about the show to me, that when I resaw it recently, is that the character, I kind of imagined the character at the time as me, what I would be like at my age now.
Oh, so it was supposed to be.
It was like me at age 30,
late
imagining
30s.
what I'd be like now at age 36. Is kind of the character. Yeah. So anyway,
Yo, guys. Just got done watching the first episode of Polyester Dreams, and what? I mean, like, what was why? Like, I don't even what? I need some heroin.
I love this review.
Yeah, it's very eloquent.
Yeah, I mean, clearly it provokes.
From Florida.
Whoops.
Love it.
Fucking iTunes. Clearly, it provokes some very poignant questions in people's minds.
Well, this guy was so. I don't know if it's a state of bewilderment, or do you think he was flummoxed? He just couldn't. His mind couldn't grasp the show.
Yeah, and
the
it was a different time back then. People were doing web series for no good reason. It was just a thing we did back in the day.
Well, I can understand. It's like this guy's used to listening to an hour and a half of senseless babble and racial epithets and whatnot here in the show, shit stories.
And this was the time when we were told that nobody would watch anything longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's the thing. They're used to like listening to audio. So when you see a web series like that with actual, an actual production value, and you put some effort into it, this guy's mind's probably blown. Couldn't understand it.
Yeah.
Wow. Do people still do web series this day and age? Don't they?
I feel like they do, but I don't. I've retired from that game. I don't. I don't truck with that scene no more.
I watched the trailer of what you did, and I was actually surprised. I was like, "Wow, you put a lot of effort into it. It looked good. I mean, it was obviously amateur because you're shooting. It's not like you had like some high production value on it, but it was good. It was interesting. But you know what I thought about today? It's like what passes for entertainment in this day and age is a girl with a like D-cup titties playing video games for an hour on Twitch. Right. That's what people watch this day and age.
We didn't know.
A guy who actually like puts some effort in, makes a plot like a postmodern show like Polyester Dreams. People probably don't even care about that now because they can't even follow it anymore.
There were some things that inspired it, I think. It was Lasagna Cat. And one thing that it didn't inspire it, but it got compared to it, is Yacht Rock, which I still enjoy to this day.
Yeah, Yacht Rock is...
Yacht Rock's good shit. Yeah, I think the review said it's no Yacht Rock, but it's pretty good, is one of the reviews. So,
where can people watch it, the full episodes?
I think
Like YouTube?
If I don't take it off, it's on there's a Facebook page for it with all the episodes, and I think my YouTube site has YouTube page has most of the episodes, but not all of them.
Well, people check it out. Polyester Dreams.
Yeah.
You can have your mind blown like that caller.
Yeah, and there are a lot
he
of
couldn't even articulate his thoughts.
he couldn't, man. I fucking
I understand.
yeah. No, it's like
crazy.
It's like why did Lena Dunham kill those people with her parrot? Yeah. And could she
Can't
even
fathom that.
if she tried to watch Sex in the City now? Would she even understand it, or would she just have her mind blown?
Yeah.
These are the questions that come up.
You cross Sex and the City with Golden Girls. Mind blowing.
Yeah.
Can't even fathom that. I think that's what kind of this guy was experiencing. A fractured mind.
So would Blanche be Charlotte? I don't actually know.
Is that the horse-faced woman?
I think so.
Yeah,
don't know.
probably.
Okay, I've never actually seen it. So. I know there's someone named Charlotte in it, though, from watching other things. Anyway,
all right.
midgets.
The second call we got here is a guy who I guess apparently was trying to have sex with a midget, and
I
he
believe-
called twice. Let's play the first one.
I believe they prefer to be called little people, but whatever.
A
Hey
shorty.
guys, this is Brian from Florida. Love the show. Had to tell you, we just got this new guy at work, and I swear he looks just like a younger version of Dee. He's got the big Jew nose, lots of tattoos, looks just like him, even has a whiny voice.
Well, you should torture him until he tells you where his gold is.
Yeah, I was about to say my doppelganger here.
Good guy, though. Hopefully he'll work out. Harrison, you're a hell of a lot better than Lance. Guys, I'll keep it short because I just got a text from a girl I've been talking to, and I'm about to go fuck a midget. She's not the best in the face, and yeah, her arms and legs are a little stumpy, but compared to her, my dick looks huge. Guys, love the show. Keep it going, and keep it sick, keep it wrong.
I bet this guy's got a sick mustache.
Yeah,
You know?
he reminds me of pass me Sam Elliott. Pass
Yeah,
me some of
yeah.
that sarsaparilla.
Yeah.
Like I'm about to go fuck a midget. Do you think he meant an actual little person, a dwarf, or
Yes.
do you think he meant like a short girl? Because a lot of people will say like a girl under 5 feet. Well, she's a midget.
No, he seemed like
Like she had like dwarf physical
In earnest,
dwarf
he was-
attributes.
yeah.
Like
Yes.
she's the stumpy arms, big head. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah.
I wonder where he met this this little person.
I don't know. I mean, it's where's this guy from?
I think he said Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, Florida.
It's Florida.
But he
you know,
called
who
back
knows?
with a part 2.
Yeah. Maybe it's one of the Lobster Boy's children.
Hey, this is Brian from Florida again. Forgot to tell you the best part about the guy that we hired that looks just like a younger version of Dee. On top of everything else, his name is Jeffrey, and we think he might swing the other way. Just thought that'd be funny. Nothing against him. He's a good worker. But I got to go. Still got to fuck that midget. Keep it sick. Keep it wrong, guys.
I like as the horn is overtaking him, he's still like, I gotta call sick and wrong first.
Yeah.
So it's kind of nice that we're more important than his sexual outlets,
Yeah, I mean, you gotta,
So it's interesting to me. They just hired a guy. They just hired my doppelganger.
Yes.
Like he says, we just hired this guy. The guy looks a lot like Dee. And they're already inferring about his sexual proclivities.
Right.
They're like his sexual orientation. Is that kind of funny? They must work in I'm picturing like a warehouse environment.
Right. I mean, but you're from Michigan, right? So you know.
Yeah, but I mean, you hire somebody. Is it the first thing you're like, oh, that dude's totally gay?
I mean, I think a lot of my family thought I was gay for a long time just because I wasn't constantly punching things for no reason, So, I mean, in a lot of these places, like sometimes that can be, that's inferred,
Because you haven't been just violently punching things when you're angry?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I suppose there's a certain way that the heterosexual male is supposed to behave.
Right. Wasn't that into football,
And the weird music you listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it.
Artistic.
It's just funny to me that all these guys in the warehouse is like, I think he swings the other way. Do you think they have bets about his sexual orientation?
Yeah, I mean, what else?
Because you can't ask.
You got to do
can't
something.
ask the person.
No,
though.
you can't legally.
You just have to assume.
Yeah.
Whether or not he's gay.
I mean, you gotta have bets about that kind of thing because it passes the day. You know, makes the
I
day
do
go.
find it funny though when you work with the various employees that you don't know that well, but you always kind of wonder. That dude's gotta be gay. Like
Right.
he's gotta be sucking like 30 dicks a night or something. Like there's a lot of like you're like, I'm assuming he is, but sometimes you're surprised.
Yeah.
You know, it is. It's just funny because I wonder how much mental effort is exerted every day at work when people are trying to figure out other people's sexual orientation, like your coworkers.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some weird economist term, like stat,
Like
where it's
time wasted?
Yeah. Over $40 billion a year and lost productivity over people wondering the sexual orientation of their coworkers.
The sexual orientation confusion index. All right. Well, good luck with your new employee, and I want to hear a report back. Did you bang the midget?
Right.
Did you have sex with a little person? And better yet, did you bring her to the office? That's what I want to know. We work with there's a dwarf that I work with. She's really nice.
Yeah.
She's actually, I would say, unattractive for a dwarf. Like,
is she proportional or non-proportional? Because there's I think it's non-proportional as a dwarf, and then proportional is just you're a little person, whatever.
she looks like Peter Dinklage with a wig, like a blonde wig.
Fair enough.
So she looks a lot like Peter Dinklage. But I mean, she's not unattractive. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's not like this hideous, misshapen dwarf person. Like, she's like, if you're into little people. But anyway, we hang out at this. There's a bar that a lot of employees go to for a happy hour. She brought her boyfriend to the bar, and that guy is normal height.
Sure.
So this guy. So you're kind of looking at him like, dude, you're a freak. Like, you're totally banging, like, you're shagging a dwarf.
Right.
Again, but he's just such a normal dude. So I wonder if this guy is going to be like a guy like that. Like, after everybody gets out of work, you go to the Bennigans for happy hour. I wonder if he's going to bring the midget with him.
Or maybe just a continual attempt to prove that he's, an open-minded, nice guy, and it just goes too far, and eventually they get married, kind of a thing,
So he's trying to be like, no,
Yeah.
I'm PC, I'm cool,
Yeah.
I'm hip to everything.
I could see that being some kind of, Chandler storyline on Friends that never happened,
You end up having to marry the dwarf to prove to your coworkers that you're cool. Like, I'm cool, man. I'm like, I'm sexually
How
open.
is that not a Chandler storyline?
It should be.
Yeah. All right.
All right. The next call is about the guy that he called to reprimand us reprimand Harrison really about the definition of the word cabron.
Right.
But then he let slip that he likes to drink his own semen when he masturbates.
See, I don't remember that. But
You don't remember? No, he talked about how he was masturbating and accidentally, oh my God, by happenstance,
That's
a shot of cum got in his mouth.
See, that's a bit away from him saying that he liked it.
Well,
he said accidental. Okay, he's going to
he's saying
explain
it happened,
He's
but
gonna
now he's
explain
explaining it.
You're never going to believe him, no matter
Yeah.
what he says, but he's going to explain it.
Hey, what's up, guys? It's the Cabron guy again. So, you guys were talking some shit after my last call about maybe I think this guy meant to jizz in his own mouth. Let me just put this out there. If I wanted to jizz in my own mouth, I'd probably just fucking do it. I don't care.
It's a great
Let me just
quote.
point this out. So the reason that this happened, because you're asking, why are you looking down at your shit? Do you not drag it off into a napkin? All right, look, I just hit like mid 30s recently, and I used to like jack off every single day, so I never had this problem about my jizz just shooting all over the place. But now that I don't do it all the time, right? Because you get mid 30s, you just don't have that kind of stamina anymore. So I have been lax in my masturbatory duties as of late, and so the other day I'm just doing it, or the other week, or whatever the fuck I said last time. It just happens, and it happens to be crazy because I don't do it that often anymore, and it just shot in my face. Now, since this event occurred, I started, using a towel or a paper towel more frequently to avoid jizzing in my own mouth because it's not an experience I necessarily want to have. So the whole point is that, it was just some crazy thing that happened, and I figured I'd share that with you guys. But now you guys are talking all this shit. Anyways, I'll probably go home, jerk off in my own mouth again. This time, maybe it'll be on purpose, maybe not. I don't know. Anyways, Harrison, you're an awesome host, and who gives a shit if you had sex with a tranny? The only question I have is, which bathroom did he or she use when you guys were done? Yeah, get it? All right, keep it wrong.
Do you have a transgendered bathroom in your house?
Yes, I do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have three bathrooms. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right. Well, that's a satisfactory explanation
That
here.
can make sense because it can get pretty backed up and things can go pretty bananas.
Like a wax dart shooting out of your dick. Was that Bill Hicks who said that?
I don't know. But, I mean, I had sex recently and I hadn't, the first time in, say, 2 weeks or so, long.
But you didn't masturbate in 2 weeks?
No.
2 weeks you didn't masturbate?
Nope.
I find that hard to believe.
I didn't. I'm tired. I'm tired.
So, okay, you can kind of relate because you're in your mid-30s. This guy's in his mid-30s. Did you just stop masturbating, like when you hit 35?
No, it's just I go through periods of, malaise.
Sometimes I'm just too lazy. I'm like, God, I'm just tired.
Yeah,
you want to deal with it.
So then things just go crazy, and it's like,
well, it builds up, and you know you're going to have a huge load. But my question is,
and then I got a text about it the next day that said, "You exploded like a meth lab, LOL."
Wow.
Yeah.
Exploded like a meth lab, LOL. That's very descriptive.
Mm-hmm.
But, the thing is, I still think it's maybe this guy's out of practice, and that's why this happened. It's like a one-off, occurrence. But it's weird to me. Like, I've gone a few days without jerking off, and I've had a massive load, but I still had like a paper towel or a washcloth or something to jack off into. Like, it sounds like this guy wasn't even prepared. Your load's got to go somewhere.
You can lose track of stuff, You get, especially towards the end where things get a little like, whoa, you don't know, the angle. I don't know. I think it could happen. But there's a part 2 here, All
right, man. What's the second part?
Hey, what's up, guys? Just the cop wrong guy again. You guys are poking fun at the fact that I may or may not have accidentally jizzed into my mouth.
Yep.
So I figured I would regale you with some tales of this previous girlfriend that I had that was very freaky. So me and this girl were going out for a while. Actually, I should just kind of maybe spoiler alert. That story I told you guys last time was not the first time I jizzed into my mouth.
Oh, okay. There's a confession.
This girl I used to go out with, she was really freaky, and we hadn't seen each other for a while, and we were having sex in my room, and we decided not to use a condom because it hadn't been a while, or because it'd been a while, and she was kind of freaky, and she gets off, and then my dick points towards my face as I'm about to finish, and I know what's coming, but I just don't really care because this.
Yeah, no, you don't care when that's about to happen. You're not really.
Okay.
Right.
Was this girl blowing him and then just like, or were they fucking and she jumped off his dick and then pointed it at his face?
I don't think she pointed it at him. I think it just.
But I mean, how does that even happen? Like, I don't get it. Like, logistically.
Look at me right now,
So she was on him and just jumped off his dick right when she's
blowing him, and then sticks on.
Well, I can understand blowing him, but he said they were having sex.
Right.
I think this is how a fetish develops.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Whatever reason, and as she gets off, I'm finishing, and then my cum shoots right in my face, and the entire time she's laughing at me as I'm trying to decide whether I'm enjoying myself more or whether I'm more disgusted because I'm coming into my own mouth. And, she thought it was pretty funny, and I didn't really think so, but I didn't care that much because I was getting laid at the time when I was really young. I was like, this was like 20 years ago or something. I'm pretty old now, but pretty good times. Anyways, talk to you guys later.
The origin of a fetish right there.
Okay.
Don't you think so? I mean, something like that happens. He associates this with like a sexual escapade that he enjoyed.
Right. I mean, how many great scientific discoveries happened by accident? In history. A lot of them.
This was like 20 years ago, and he's just like, oh my God, it's like it just enhances my pleasure to blow my load in my face.
Yeah. It's like Archimedes taking a bath.
You know what's weird? Thing. What's weird about this though is how do you explain that to a girl? Like, don't you think most girls would be a little put off by it if you're like, hey, you know what? I like fucking you, but I don't like blowing my load on you. I like blowing my load on me. So when I'm about to blow my load, I'll tell you, jump off my dick so I can point it at my face. Like, what girl do you think your nutter girlfriend, the mental patient? How do you think she'd feel about that?
I don't think she's a mental patient any longer. First of all.
Oh, okay, all right. Former mental patient.
Okay. No, she's whatever.
She didn't care.
Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
I think most girls would be into it. Well, I don't know if they'd be into it. I think they'd be amused by it.
Yeah,
tolerate
it.
And they'd be willing to, they'd be willing to indulge you. But I think they'd be like, it's weird. And then the next time when you guys break up and she has a new sexual partner, she'd be like, yeah, my last ex, it's like to blow his load in his face.
I think if you're a woman and you get to be like my age, right, and you haven't encountered enough weird fucking bullshit that wouldn't be a big deal, then you've been living wrong.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I think a lot of girls have had to deal, especially in this day and age, because a lot of guys, especially like the millennials, a lot of dudes have been masturbating to all sorts of porn for so long. So
they don't even know you can come inside a woman.
Yeah,
they just think the human race is going to die out because everyone's just coming in everybody's face.
It's just cum just going in every orifice imaginable. So I imagine,
not with a bang, but a whimper.
Yeah, in this day and age, I don't think it's that weird. So anyway, well, indulge your fantasies. I think it's a good thing to do. You don't need to make excuses when you call into a podcast.
Right.
And worry about two condescending pricks like myself and Harrison judging you, because we're not judging you. No. It's totally cool with us that you like to blow your loads in your face. That's fine.
Judgment free.
Just watch it. You should probably get like some glasses or safety goggles because it can burn the eyes. It can burn the eyes.
It can, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes the goggles, though, they do nothing.
The goggles, they do nothing. Sometimes when this is kind of a bit of a personal confession, but sometimes when you're fucking a girl and you pull out, and you just blow a load. I sometimes feel like it's kind of like my own personal skee ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? You ever play skee ball where it's like you get, the middle ball is worth like 100 points. It's like if you get it in her eyes, it's worth like 50 points. You get it in her mouth, it's worth like 100. You ever thought about that?
You get it in the clown's mouth.
Yeah, and it's like worth. So I kind of feel like sometimes when, you're fucking a girl without a condom, you pull out and you just shoot it. It's like playing your own semen skee ball.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
Maybe this guy does it with himself. Like, that if he gets it in his own mouth, it's 100 points. Go buy himself some Dairy Queen.
And that's typical. Yeah. Typical of today's generation.
People call Sick Wrong Hotline, 323-522-4032. We have one email to get to, and then we got to get out of here. SickWrongPodcast@hotmail.com is where this email came from. It's from Tish. She goes, hey, you guys. I just wanted to say hi again. I've been listening dutifully to the early years, currently year 3, and I'm making time for the new ones. I like that the new music has Bob Madigan, that new theme song she's talking about here. I hear my dad in his voice, and it warms my heart.
Jesus.
Wow. Seriously? Your dad was a chronic alcoholic? As you may or may not recall, you read my email previously about your American plumbing and a failed romance that started my sick and wrong journey. In parentheses, it was a sweet moment to be mentioned on a podcast he's been listening to for years. Ooh, good way to get back at her ex.
Oh, I see.
Anyway, the plight of the twisted fire starter has appealed to me. Remember this guy?
Yeah.
Did this guy try to have sex with a tranny and then he shit himself at the music festival? And he hasn't gotten laid in a long time?
The plight of the twisted fire starter makes it seem like it's a fucking act in an opera libretto or something. I
think it should be the title of your next graphic novel.
Yeah.
She said, the plight of the twisted fire starter has appealed to me, and if his latest attempt to get laid doesn't work, pass him my details. I already know he's a twisted fuck, so there's not much else to hide. Playing matchmaker here.
You never know,
Also, I think Harrison is amazing, and I enjoy his clever musings. Keep it sick, keep it wrong. Love, Tish. Well, Tish, I'll see what I can do here. I like to play matchmaker every now and then. We've had a few matches here on the show. Resulted in marriage.
Really?
Yeah. Even Wackerly met his wife.
That much I know, because everybody tells me constantly. Yeah.
That's the only reason why Harrison's on here, is to meet a woman.
That's why I do anything, really.
Well, you'll meet
if
an
you're
open...
doing a creative project and it doesn't get you laid, like, what is the point?
Exactly.
What is
the point of
Why
doing
do we build
anything?
bridges? Why do we do, you know?
To get laid.
Yeah.
Well, Tish, I'll see what I can do. I'm, maybe Twisted Firestarter might be getting laid now. You guys do live on 2 different continents, but we could probably make a connection there. We'll see. iTunes, best way to listen to the show. Subscribe, rate, comment. We appreciate it. Just go to the iTunes page, do a search. Just search for Sick and Wrong, and you'll find our show. And you can download all the episodes. You can get it on your iPod player, get it on your iPhone. Just make sure you leave us a rating and a comment. We do appreciate that. Also, the T-shirts. T-shirts are selling quite quickly, actually. I just sent out like 7 this past week. Woo-hoo. Yeah, we're selling a lot. And a lot of them are like the larges and extra larges. I think we have a lot of big people out in the audience. But just go to sickaroundpodcast.com/store and buy a new Sick and Wrong tee, the occult tee, while you still can. Finally here, Sick and Wrong Song of the Week. Harrison, I think I told you this already, but single day tickets are now we're on sale for Psycho Las Vegas. That festival is happening in August.
Okay.
But now they're all sold out.
I know. I saw that. I was pretty bummed.
Yeah, it's kind of a bummer.
It's annoying, you know. You just
it's these I kind of hate the festivals.
I don't like the festivals.
It's too much.
There were so
for
many
me.
good acts. It would have been dope as fuck.
This one was a festival that I was considering going to because it was in Vegas. There were like, I don't know, day 2 had like 7 or 8 bands I wanted to see.
Yeah.
You know, I think headlining was Electric Wizard, High on Fire, and Blue Oyster Cult.
Right.
Pentagram is actually playing day 1.
Mm-hmm.
It's all sold out. All the single days are sold out.
It's all done.
It was like keeping $100 a day.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas at the Hard Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you know what I did? I actually emailed the promoter.
Yes.
To see if we can get on the list for it.
Oh, you know what I was supposed to mention that I forgot to mention?
What was it?
Friday, July 8th. I will be in London.
Oh,
yeah.
The thing.
I'm going to have a meetup, or not a meetup. Whatever.
Just have drinks with people.
I'm just going to be drinking at a bar. If you want to fucking show up and say what's up, that's good.
So Harrison has family in London, right? I was about to say Las Vegas. Thankfully you don't. But you have family in England.
Yes, I do.
And so you're going to be meeting up at some random bar, and you could probably meet a few of the fans.
I will be in town for my biological father's 60th birthday, and I'm staying for a while. I'm definitely going to be in London towards the end of that week. So I'm thinking Friday. You know, July 8th. Maybe I'll go to that fucking bar you went to, the one in Camden, whatever the fuck it's called.
The World's End.
Yeah, maybe
it's a good
that
spot.
One. There was another one that I liked, and then it closed. I forget what it's called, but it was like a metal bar that closed.
You know what you should do is you should make an announcement or something on the Facebook page.
I should, yeah.
So people will know.
Yeah.
Like make an event. Make an event.
Okay. Well, anyway, look, I'm going to be there. I might go to Glasgow if I can before that, if I can, just for shits and giggles.
Have you ever been up there?
No, I've never been to Scotland.
Wait till you see the ladies of Scotland. Go on Scottish Tinder. You're gonna have a blast.
Well, one of these
Find
fellows
your true love.
Said he can hook me up with a slag, which I believe is some kind of a swamp hag. So that's promising, you know.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Well, we'll definitely make an announcement about that, and I'd probably make an event or something, an event posting on Facebook.
Right.
So
all right,
getting close to the date.
I'm doing it.
Anyway, because we missed the opportunity to buy tickets here for Psycho Las Vegas, we're gonna end the show with a Pentagram song. I actually saw Pentagram last week. Amazing show. Bobby Liebling in great form. Pentagram is kind of like, I think in the documentary Last Days Here, they describe Pentagram as like a street Black Sabbath, like an unpolished Black Sabbath.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, it's great. And Bobby Liebling, to me, looked like the Crypt Keeper's like hippie brother, like his long-lost hippie brother. Because Bobby Liebling is still wearing like bell-bottoms and paisley, but I mean, his like skin is just gnarled.
Yeah.
I mean, he looks like a shrunken head.
Right.
Like with gray hair.
He's got covered in abscess scars.
Oh, yeah. No, the guy, you know, you should watch the documentary if you want to learn about Pentagram. Pentagram is an amazing band. And I got to say, their show blew me away. I mean, they played for like almost 2 hours. longer than a lot of these younger bands that
Right.
play this day and age. But they sounded great, and the music's amazing.
No, the only
It
other
is.
guy I've seen move like that in that age is Iggy Pop.
Is Iggy
you know?
Pop. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. I was like, and you look at Iggy Pop stopped doing drugs like 2 decades ago.
Yeah.
I mean, the damage was done, but I mean, he's still in decent health.
Sure.
Bobby Liebling still smokes crack. I mean, you look at the guy, you're like,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The fuck happened to you?
Right.
I mean, he's only like in his, I think he's like 60
Yeah.
or something, but he looks like he's like 95.
Right.
But the documentary's great. Check out Last Days Here, and I recommend buying every Pentagram album. It's an amazing band. So we're going to end the show here with the song Forever My Queen from the compilation First Days Here by the band Pentagram. And if people out there in Las Vegas know how to get us into Psycho Las Vegas, let me know.
Yeah.
Just email the show because I want to try to check it out. We'll be back next week with episode 536. Until then, take it easy.